Hello and welcome back to the Marble Racing League. This is week 2, part 1. This week's matchup we have the Bison taking on the Finns in the UMC East rivalry matchup. And we have the Cajuns taking on the Cattlemen, with the Cajuns being in the MMC South and the Cattlemen in the MMC East. Let's get ready to roll. Alright, let's take a quick look at our MRL standings before today's matchup today. We have the Bison and Finns both with a win on their record already, as well as everyone else in that division, with no division matchups to be had so far until today. Today there will be a loser and a winner for sure. Now you have the MMC South with the Cajuns in that division, the only team with a loss in that division, with a divisional loss at that. There is no division matchup for them today, but they would like to put a win on that record column. Now you have the Cattlemen in the MMC East, and they are there with the Greenbirds, both with a win on their record so far, and not a divisional matchup to be had yet in that division. Alright, let's get on with our matchup today. Alright, and here's our track for today, ladies and gentlemen. It's called the Mining Station. Shout out to the creator here, and we'll be starting up here as the starting blocks here. Go down around through this little clear walkway here. Very cool feature. And I do believe there's a couple different ways you can go through here. There's a couple tunnels that take you through here on the left side, down and around, and the other side. And there's some kind of tunnel through here, I do believe. Let's see. Oh, it just drops you down a portal. I'm not sure if that portal takes you up there or somewhere else. We'll have to find that out. Anyway, the intended way that our marbles are already going is through these rocky sections with some holes. You can drop down to the bottom here. And there's some tunnels that, let's see where those tunnels go. Through here. Okay, down up to an elevator. But anyway, after that, you should be... See where this cabin for the Finns is going. Across a transparent walkway again. Through a bunch of rocks and other miscellaneous objects here. Different little ways you can get through this track here. You should get boosted back up here. Down and around. And boom, there's your portal. For the exit is here. Down and around. And boom, there's your finish line. Alright, let's get on to the first heat. Alright, and our first heat is underway. Now, as I mentioned, the Bison and the Finns both had a win last week. The Bison beating the Cards, and the Finns beating the Jaguars. While the Cajuns lost to the Shadow Cats, and the Cattlemen beat the Brownies. Now, have the Cajuns here in the gold. You see Ironheart there, Bison in the blue and white there. Cattlemen in the silver and blue star. And let's see, Finns are, yes, right there. The greenish color there. Alright, where's our leaders here? We have Cajun. A Cajun Nexus looks like to be in the lead here with Ironheart not far behind. Protesian right through. Is he gonna fall? No. Looks like he's just gonna go around. I have Vibranium. Where are they going? Okay, up to the elevator. That should get him back on track there. And let's see, everybody else. Okay, there's Protesian for the Bison. Tantrum for the Cajuns, just narrowly missing that drop-down hole there, as they both avoided another hole. See Nexus going down to that elevator down there. And they are still holding onto the lead, but not for long, as they have to ride that elevator. Let's see, who's coming out ahead? Ironheart for the Cajuns. Gonna try to navigate that pinwheel. Followed by Quiddity for the Bison. Off through the skywalk they go. So we have two Ironhearts. Or two Cajuns, excuse me. Back to back. Now that'll be a huge... That'll be huge for them. With a nice start. A 40 and a 37 pointer right there. As the Cattlemen, their rival here today. We have, looks like Rascal's the next. Yeah. Rascal is the next one there for the Cattle. Thrash is in fourth. Where's Thrash? That might have just been an old checkpoint. Okay, there's Thrash. I don't know. That's Rascal. I'm not seeing Thrash. Might be an old checkpoint that they crossed. Looks like Buckshot might be stuck. No, they're moving. Yeah, they're moving. Let's catch up to our leaders here. Okay, Vibranium is off to the portal and up to the... getting close to the finish line. Let's catch up to them. Let's get on Vibranium here to catch their victory, if that shall be the case. Whoops. Oh. And there's Rascal trying to make a close case for second. No. They just passed. Let's get out of here. Let's catch the ending. Oh, get out of the way here. Okay, so Ironheart. Oh, they went the underneath route. Okay. And shall take the victory for Heat 1. And here comes Vibranium in second for the Cajuns. As Rascal gets boosted back by that pinwheel. So does Tantrum. And True Fate for the Finns. So that's a 1-2 for the Cajuns. As the Cattlemen have Sugar Show. Ooh. Will he take third? No. Magada for the Finns take third at the last second. But Sugar Show still gets fourth. Not a terrible outcome for him. Securing a top 5. As you see, two Bison back to back in 5th and 6th. Outrigger and Poison. Now True Fate, Megalith, two Finns. Once again, 3 Finns up there in the top 8. As Gadget, Nexus, Cattlemen, and the Cajuns. So the Cajuns have 3 marbles in the top 10. Bison has, let's see, 5th and 6th. Not terrible there for them. Cattlemen, though, they have 3, oh, no, just 2 in the top 10. The CAJ and the CAT, it's gonna get, you know, mixed every now and then. And there goes Buckshot, and boom, there's our results for today's matchup. All right, let's tally these up and move on to the next heat. All right, and after the first heat, you have the Finns 98, Bison 77, and the Cattlemen 80, Cajuns 110. Very strong start there for the Cajuns. 30 points over the Cattlemen. You have the Finns nearly 20 points over the, or yes, 21 points over the Bison. And here we are for the second heat. Let's get going here. We have Sugar Show for the Cattlemen, off to a great start here. As a matter of fact, let's follow Sugar Show there for a moment. He's taking this route. Followed behind Poison and Rascal, his teammate. Now, Sugar Show, they placed 4th last heat. Very good start there for Sugar Show. There for the Cattlemen. Now, let's get on Megalith here. Now, where did Megalith finish? He finished 8th last heat. Top 10 finish, not bad. Now, for the Finns, Magada, he was the top scorer there for the Finns, in 3rd last heat. But you gotta mention Cajuns, Ironheart, and Vibranium, a 1-2 finish there for the Cajuns last heat. Now, Bison, they had a decent heat as well, with Outrigger in 5th and Poison in 6th. Okay, where's our leaders here? Let's Megalith still holding on to the lead. Let's see if they can avoid those holes. Because, like I mentioned, if you go down into these holes, you have to take these elevators, which will slow you down. And they do avoid. Let's see. They do not avoid that one, though. And they will go on to this elevator over here. That will slow them down quite a bit. If any of these other marbles can navigate around these holes here. Looks like Sugar Show's doing an okay job. Let's see, can they avoid this one? No, they get bounced back. And it looks like they might come down in this hole here. Yep, it looks exactly like that. Okay. Let's get on to Protesian here. Looks like they will be our new leader. Followed by Banshee and Rascal. 2 Bison near the front. That'll help them catch the Finns here, as they are losing. Alright, let's get on to Rascal here. Okay. Let's get that. Yeah, that's a good, better angle. As I say that, I'm getting blocked by that pinwheel. Okay. There's a ways to go to catch up to Protesian. Somebody far behind. Okay, there's Hyper Sky and Banshee. Getting passed by Hyper Sky, and Banshee's getting close to pass. Okay, let's get out of that. And catch up to Protesian here. As they're getting ready to enter that sky portal here. Well, sky ride, I should say. Commanding lead. Not many close behind. You see Rascal there. The next closest marble. Protesians making their way around pretty quickly here. If nothing slows them down, they should have a victory for the Bison here. Like I said, that should help their cause with that comeback. But it's only the second heat. They have another heat to go. Let's see, where's our other marbles here? We have 3 Finns. Uh-oh, that's not good for the Bison. And you have a Rascal there in 2nd for the Cattlemen. And as far as the Cajuns go, is Tantrum the next... No, Tantrum's the first Cajun. And I have a couple Cattlemen in front of him. So that should help out the Cattlemen's cause here. Okay, let's catch up to these guys over here. As Protesian is getting ready to secure their victory as long as that pinwheel doesn't hit him again. And it looks like they will secure first. Let's catch that real quick and then catch on our second and third place. Nice victory there for Protesian. As Hyper Sky's taking the bottom route and should secure second. Followed by his teammate, True Fate, 2 fins. That's not good for the Bison having 2 fins right after you. As it looks like, let's see where, yeah, there's another fin, Magada. With Banshee right there, the Bison. And Poison up there. But you have Captain there for the fins. It's looking like another heat victory over the Bison there for the fins. Yeah, very well raced heat here for the fins. So you have Thrash in 5th, Rascal in 6th, 2 Cattlemen there. That'll help their cause over the Cajuns. Any Cajuns coming up? There's Ironheart and Tantrum. But I fear it might be a little too late for them. As there's Bully Ball. Crossing just before Ironheart for the Cajuns. There's Nexus, Tantrum, and Buckshot. All following, all ending near the back of the heat here. Alright, any stuck marbles? It's Quiddity, the last marble. I do believe it's Quiddity. Yes, okay. Let's let them finish here. Alright, and there's our results. Yeah, 3 fins in the top 5. Oh boy. That's going to further their lead over the Bison despite Protesian doing his best to earn that victory. Alright, let's move on to the next heat. Alright, and after 2 heats, you have the Fins 240 over the Bison 160. Just completely dominating that matchup. And you have the Cattlemen over the Cajuns 173-157. For the Fins, it was Hyper Sky, True Fate, and Megalith, all with the top 5 in 2, 3, and 4. And Protesian for the Bison just did not do enough. I mean, that's all he could do, is he came in first. As far as the rest of the teammates, they just could not get it done with the next closest marble in 8th. Cattlemen had a top 5 finish as well. Thrash in 5th there. Rascal, Shout Out in 6th. As you have Sugar Show for the Cattlemen, currently leading. Not for long though, as Megalith and Captain for the Fins both got caught up there on that little spinning arm. Now Sugar Show, let's see what they did last heat. Last heat they were 18th, looking to better their performance here as they get caught on that pinball machine bouncer. First heat, Sugar Show was in 4th, so looking to stay away from that pinball bouncer. Alright, let's catch up to Hyper Sky gets bounced, but Cajun takes the lead here. As Quiddity currently in 2nd, it looks like. Alright, let's follow one of our favorite marbles here. Let's follow Sugar Show for the Cattlemen. Making their way around. Let's see if they can drop down this hole here. Looks like they will. And get bounced over to this elevator. Now, let's get out of there. And there's Ironheart, our current leader, I do believe. We keep getting bounced on those pinball machine bouncers. Quite a few marbles back on this elevator. Got Sugar Show, Rascal, their teammate. 2 Bison, Quiddity, and Protesian. A Finn there. True Fate, Thrash, and Buckshot for the Cajuns. As Ironheart finally makes his way out of there and off. Let's see if they can make it through that pinwheel without getting slammed. Looks like they navigate around that just fine. And here comes Bully Ball and Magada. Here we have Vibranium as well. So that'll be 2 Cajuns near 1 and 2. Now they are currently behind the Cattlemen. Let's see, that should help their cause out for this week's win, as they don't have a victory yet on the season. It's only week 2, a lot of season left to go. But it's always nice to start your season off strong. So they made their way down that mountain pretty quick. And we'll be off to that sky ride. Here comes Magada, Sugar Show, Hyper Sky. And there's Bully Ball and Ironheart. Wow, 3 Cajuns. Oh, nope, I'm sorry. That's 2 Cajuns. But they have a pretty dominant lead at the moment. And here comes Banshee for the Bison, getting boosted up to, what is that, 4th? Yeah. Vibranium is getting closer to that portal, closer to that victory, but gets bounced back by that pinball bouncer. And his teammate is getting close to passing him. Let's see. The teammates are gonna... One and 2. Fighting for that first place finish. Every position matters, every point matters in these races, because the better you do, the better your odds of making a all-star appearance. And a potential MVP candidacy. Now, the way that works is the top marble out of the whole league with the most points per heat, the highest average as well, the most top first, top 3s, and top 5s will go towards that MVP candidacy. There's Vibranium. Let's see, Vibranium came in 19th last heat. Not so well. And 2nd in the first heat. So overall, a very, very good day there for Vibranium. Can't win them all. So Ironheart got really slowed down, but well, gets bounced back by that pinwheel. Let's hope he has enough momentum to finish this heat. That pinwheel's gonna cost him. Uh-oh. Here comes Gadget on the fast track on the bottom lane. He might have lost his 2nd place finish, and it looks like he might. Uh-oh. Let's see. Ironheart holds on to 2nd and takes it. Wow. Okay. He found just enough juice to finish that race, but Gadget in third, Magada in fourth. So 2 Cajuns, first and second. That might just earn them the victory over the Cattlemen here today. With another one, Cajun, Buckshot in ninth, another top 10. Now for the Bison and Finns, we have Magada in fourth, Outrigger in fifth. But that matchup is pretty well sealed here, I do believe. The Finns a hearty victory, or hearty lead over the Bison. I don't want to call it before it hatches, as they say, but I do believe it's over. Now let's see who we got left here. There's Rascal. Where's Tantrum? Is Tantrum stuck somewhere? Tantrum's over here. Are they stuck? Yeah, looks like, yep, they're stuck. All right, so Rascal just finished. All right, that's the end of the heat. Let's tally these up and see who won this. All right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have the Finns dominating the Bison, 326 to 246. You have the Cajuns getting their victory over the Cattlemen, 261-259. Now, that's the story of the first heat. Was the Cajuns right off the bat 1 and 2. That's a lot of points right off the bat for you, 40 and 37 points. And then you had Nate Nagata in third. It's a nice 34 points there for the Finns. And Sugar Show in fourth, and Outrigger in fifth. Also Poison, not bad there for the Bison there in sixth. A solid 26 points. Anything over 20, you're doing good for your team. Now there in the second heat, you had Protesian in first. Then once again, well, for the Finns, you had Hyper Sky, True Fate, and Megalith in 2, 3, and 4. That's a lot of points. Getting over 30 is a good amount of points for your team. And the Bison just couldn't hang there in the second heat. And then you had in fifth, you had Thrash for the Cattlemen, solid 28 points, and Rascal as well, 26. In sixth, Cajuns just won in the top 10 in that heat. And for your final heat, had the Cajuns 1 and 2 once again, just like the first heat, with a solid 40 and 37 points. And let's shout out Buckshot with a top 10 there in ninth, helping his team out there. Wait, Gadget was the only Cattleman in the top 5 there in third, but Bully Ball had a strong showing there in sixth, getting his team 26 points. And you had Magada in fourth with a solid 31, and Outrigger 28. Let's go ahead and shout out Banshee and Captain there for the Bison and Finns. That's solid 24 and 22 points. All right, let's move on to our stats update. All right, and here's our Marble Racing League points per heat update. Now for the Bison, you have Outrigger with a 24.9 after 2 weeks. Protesian with 20, Poison 19.6, all solid starts there. Now for the Finns, you have Magada 21.8, True Fate 21.6, Captain Hyper Sky right at 19.8, 19.4. Now for your Cajuns, you have Vibranium, Ironheart 28.4, still hot start there for Ironheart. Vibranium, nice start as well, 26.3. And for your Cattlemen, you have Thrash, their top points per heat leader, 21.8. Gadget with a 20.8. And Rascal, 19.6. All solid starts there for those marbles. All right, let's move on to our first top 3s and top 5s update. All right, here's our first top 3s and top 5s update. Now for your Bison, have Poison and Outrigger, their leaders there, with a win in 2 top 3s and 2 top 5s. And for your Finns, you have Hyper Sky, their leader, win, 2 top 3s and 2 top 5s. Now for your Cajuns, Ironheart, their leader, with a win, 3 top 3s and 3 top 5s. And for your Cattlemen, looks like Thrash is their leader with a win, 2 top 3s and 3 top 5s. All right, let's move on to our standings. All right, and for our standings update, for the UMC East, where the Bison and the Finns had their matchup today. You have the Finns leading that division with 2 wins, a win in the division. And the Bison, the only one in that division with a loss, and that happened today. Now for your Cajuns, in the MMC South, they're the only team in that division with a loss thus far, and the loss was in their division, but they had a win today to make up for it a little bit, so we'll see how they do next week. And for your Cattlemen, they are 1-1, the only team in that division with a 1-1 record. Greenbirds are the only undefeated team in that division left. No division matchups in that division thus far. Alright, well that does it for this video, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Marble Racing League YouTube channel. See you next time.